Thank you, Carrie. And it's just wonderful to see everybody here today. It's an honor for me to introduce Governor Ritter. Governor Ritter and I have some things in common. We both believe this state has a great Commissioner of Agriculture. Both of us share the belief that investing in a new energy economy is a way to breathe economic life into rural Colorado while benefiting the rest of the state. And both of us believe doing what's best for Colorado must rise above partisan politics and any interest, any special interest. Governor Ritter has challenged us to look beyond partisan politics and ask the question, does this create a better future for our children and our children's children? As a candidate, Governor Ritter said he was going to make Colorado a renewable energy capital. His first 8 months in office have been like a breath of fresh air, albeit to some maybe a bit of a whirlwind. He and his team brought all the parties to the table to build near unanimous support for doubling Colorado's renewable energy standard, one that is considered the strongest in the nation. He's committed to quadrupling the number of E85 stations in this state, and we're already halfway there. He supported measures to build transmission to bring renewable energy into our homes. This state government doesn't just talk the talk, it walks the walk. The Colorado conservation voters applaud the tremendous progress that Governor Ritter has made in such a short time, and we look forward to working with him and all the others in this room to make Colorado a national and global renewable energy leader and to leave a lasting conservation legacy for Coloradans. Governor Ritter?
Thanks. That was great. I very much appreciate that reception. We introduced already the legislators who are here, and I just want to go back before I begin my remarks and thank them, because all of these things that we talked about, the introduction and the things that we were able to accomplish in the first 8 months were really the product of a lot of very serious teamwork, and it had to do with leadership and then the body of the legislature ultimately working with us and being able to carve out this agenda. We said at the beginning, you know, this legislative session really needs to be about renewable energy. It is this place that we as a state can move in a really big direction. And I can remember Alice and Joan, our conversations about that when we sat there, and Andrew was there, and Peter Groff, and we had these decisions to make about what was coming out and what it should be about. We said renewable energy at the end of the session, and I think the reporters who are here today will verify this. We had reporters falling asleep when we talked about renewable energy because we talked about it so much, because it had to be about that, and there were so many places for this state to go as it related to renewable energy. I just want to, again, thank the people who are in this room for understanding the importance of partnerships on this agenda, because in this room you have environmentalists, conservationists, sportsmen, utility companies, people from private industry, but a group of people who have decided that we can look at this state and understand that we get to shape today the future of the state by decisions we make, but we can't make them if we're at polar opposites, or if we're at a place where we refuse to sit down and talk about what the future should be like. We understand, and when we really had this experience again and again in the legislature, that there were places where we were differing and how we might move forward, but at the end of the day, when we sat together and when we said, this is something where there is common ground, it's my sense, and I believe it's the sense of the people of this state, that we did our best work. There is no doubt it was the greenest legislative session in the history of this state, except perhaps before electricity had been invented. You know that we keep saying... of, you know, the United States of America. And finally I said to the mayor, I said, what about before there's electricity and all they did was sit around and burn woody biomass? Doesn't that sort of count as green? We signed these executive orders on the greening of government, something that I get to talk about on, I believe it's Thursday morning, in front of a congressional committee and then in a Senate panel. I'm going to testify about the things that we've been able to do at the state level in terms of greening government through our executive orders. As Carrie and Patty both mentioned, we doubled the renewable portfolio standard and we brought in REAs and included them in a renewable portfolio standard. We're working really hard on transmission issues, and my public utility commissioner that I appointed, one of the three, he's here today, and Ron has been just fantastic in terms of how he has this shared vision with me, the importance that transmission plays. We're looking at how we develop a regional transmission grid so that we can utilize the wind energy in this state, not just for the major regulated utilities or even the REAs, but to export it. And it really, I'm going to talk a little bit about the economic development opportunities here, but you really need a Public Utilities Commission that shares the vision, and we have it. We were able to establish a clean energy fund, and it's going to be providing grants so that we can keep building on this thing we call the new energy economy. Tom Plant, the head of the Governor's Energy Office, is here today, and again, a person who I just have trouble keeping up with these people because they have such a great deal of energy around this issue. Now what I'll tell you is that I talk a lot about renewable energy and about the new energy economy. People come up and they say to me, I'd like to talk to you, and I say, talk to Tom Plant. So, I think, Tom, your schedule is probably very busy, but it has a lot to do with the things that I'm doing and talking about out there and then passing on to Tom. We passed legislation to improve energy efficiency. We reached an agreement that will lead to lower mercury emissions from coal-fired plants. And we did all of this, we think, in a fairly short amount of time. That's just on the legislative side. We did actually even more than that, but those are kind of the highlights. What we really did as well is to understand that the power of this doesn't come just from passing legislation and establishing sort of a portfolio for us to look at how we go forward. We also said this is a state with tremendous resources, natural resources, sun, wind, geothermal potential, and also really human resources. And this is what I say wherever I go, and I think it's true, because there are states in this country that have great natural resources. Any of those states that have the natural resources, I will put up against them, Colorado, because of our intellectual resources, because we have this combination effect. We have NREL and all these major research institutions. We have great private sector players, all of whom understand the power of going forward with this new energy economy, and that makes such a tremendous difference in what we're able to do in this state. The things that we've been able to do just with the collaboratory, we have people from NREL here, but CSU, Carter School of Mines, and CU working with NREL on these possibilities, again, is the way to think about how we move forward in the future in a new energy economy.